Welcome to this week's Smackdown Recap. As always, in these recap videos, we go over everything you need to know about this important episode of WWE. I give my thoughts on the show, and at any point in the video, you guys can let me your thoughts down in the comments below. But as always, before we get anywhere into any video, be sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, turn on post notifications so you never miss an upload. Go follow the socials, links to those will be in the description of this video. That includes my Instagram, my X account. And one more thing, man, we finally did it, man. We hit 300 subs. I believe currently at the time that I'm recording this, we are at 303, man. So thank you guys so much. It's only up from here. More obviously, we're going to continue with the content, man, but hey, like I said, appreciate y'all so much, and like I said, it's only up from here, so let's keep freaking grinding. Hey, 400, we're gonna set a goal real quick. We're gonna try to hit 400 subs in the next 3 months. So what is that? By February, let's hope we have 400 subs. Let's try to get there. So hey, if you're new here, smash that sub. If you watch the videos, you're not subbed, hit that subscribe button. But hey, now let's get you guys right on into this week's Smackdown recap. All right, so we kicked off the show with Rhea Ripley and Io Sky. So Rhea and Io, they come out, and pretty much what Rhea has to say is that the Kabuki Warriors, they just want to run around here and think they're untouchable, and then Lash Legend and Nia Jax, they want to jump in, think they're untouchable, they want to play that numbers game against us. Well, what comes with numbers game and power is great enemies. And then Io Sky would pretty much just agree with her, and then we would see Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss come out, and pretty much what Alexa says is that that pretty much, yeah, they think that they're untouchable, and they think that they can just run around here. But since the moment since the moment that you, Rhea, said War Games, I have been so freaking thrilled, basically, because all of them at the same time, they started this, and we're going to end it obviously at War Games. And then what we see is where things get a bit interesting is Charlotte Flair, she says, I can't stay quiet anymore. I need to kind of speak up here. And what she says is that, Rhea, I don't like you. I don't like you as, I don't trust you. I think you're a snake, and I just overall don't like you. And then Rhea's, kind of just trying to tell her, well, just put that past you, and then, Charlotte just keeps saying, well, we have a lot of history. And then really Charlotte just walks out, and then that is literally the end of the segment. So that was a bit interesting, I guess. What is going to come next? I don't know. It felt a bit sloppy, if you ask me, but it also, I guess, is a little bit interesting. But still, I think for the most part, this was just a bit of a weird / interesting / sloppy opener. I really kind of just overall think it was just a bit weird in my opinion, and it could just be me, but that's really my overall thoughts here. And yeah, just an overall pretty weird opener in my opinion. Alright, man, and now we move on to a first round, last time is now tournament match. It would be Jey Uso versus The Miz. And honestly, I do think this match was decent. I don't really think it was anything crazy, because I only say that because honestly, I kind of already knew Jey Uso was going to win this one. I mean, there's no way the reputation that Jey Uso has currently built, that he's built upon these last few years, there ain't no way he's about to lose to The Miz. There's just no way. So I kind of already just figured that we're going to have Jey Uso win this. It only makes sense. And that's obviously exactly what happened. But honestly, I would say that this was decent. I think there was some cool things, and there's some cool areas where we did get some momentum, which was pretty cool in my opinion. But inevitably, though, you would get that spear from Jey Uso. He would go up to the top rope. Uso splash. 1, 2, 3. He picks up that win. So, hey, like I said, I think this match was pretty predictable. I don't think there was really, I just don't really see how somebody could really say that The Miz was even going to win this one at all. I mean, yes, he does have history with Cena, but even then, there's just no way they were gonna have Jey Uso go out here. So kind of just figured that one. So yeah, that's really my only thoughts there. And like I said, it was overall, in my opinion, a decent match. All right, now we would go into the U.S. Open Challenge. Obviously, Ilya Dragunov holding this title, and he defended against Axiom. Dude, this was a freaking banger. I mean, dude, Axiom and Ilya had freaking amazing chemistry, especially the end when we got towards the end, man. There was a time where freaking we had Ilya and Axiom, and it was kind of like a last, not a last ride. It's I don't even know. Was it the last ride that like the Undertaker did, where he goes on the ropes and then hits? I think it was called the last ride. I don't know why I'm blanking. That is such an obvious move, but it was something like that. It was that kind of position. But then we would see Axiom. He would bounce off those ropes, and he would just freaking drop Ilya with like right on his head with a gnarly DDT. Man, that thing was insane. And then we would also see some great stuff from Ilya, like I said, but that's like the most notable move, in my opinion, out of this match, is that when freaking Ilya looks like he got dropped on his freaking head, man. I wonder if that dude was okay after that, honestly. But obviously, that we would not have our title change hands this weekend. It obviously would inevitably go back to Ilya. But yeah, dude, I think this match was great. Great freaking moves, great chemistry throughout the entire match. Overall, it was a very entertaining match. There's no complaints here from me. So yeah, overall, great match. And like I said, our United States champion is Ilya Dragunov. All right, now we would jump into Sami Zayn. So Sami Zayn comes out and pretty much says what he's been saying pretty much the past few weeks. You know, he's had to sit back on the sidelines while the MFT and Solo Sikoa, they just run through the back of that locker room with people I respect, people I love, people I enjoy being around, and people I love hanging out with, all that considered. And I just had to sit on the sidelines because I have been hurt, and obviously I can't come out here because Nick Aldis claims that obviously I would be a liability, of course, in which he would. And then is when we would see, obviously, kind of, he pretty much just says that he is kind of like cleared without saying, he didn't say he was like fully cleared here. He did actually later on in this promo, but at this current point, he kind of just said, I pretty much, that ends now. That waiting around ends now. So he kind of just hints that he is clear. But then we would see the MFT and Solo Sikoa come out, and pretty much Solo says, Sammy, you don't even know who you are because I know who you are. You are pathetic. You're a loser. You're just all these things. Pretty much just kind of what, you would expect from Solo. Just calls Sammy pathetic. He's a loser. He sucks. He's terrible. He doesn't even like these people that he claims that he likes. All that considered. And then we would see the MFT and Solo. They would get up on the ring apron. Then Solo would enter the ring, and he would tell Sammy that this could end very bad for you. And Sammy, once you are cleared, me and you, we're gonna do this, type of thing. And then we would see from there is when Sammy would say, well, pal, you don't have to wait very long. And then he says, hey, Solo, one more thing, I didn't come alone. And then we would see Shinsuke, and then we would see Rey Fenix, and we'd see the Motor City Machine Guns. They would attack the other MFT that are on the apron, and then meanwhile we would have Solo and Sammy going at it in the ring, in which obviously we would just kind of have a big old brawl, and that was really it there, man. So a bit interesting. Where do we go from here? Kind of just the same thing that we've been doing. Eventually, we're probably going to get Solo and Sammy maybe at War Games potentially, but we're just pretty much going to continue building this. Nothing's really going to change, and yeah. So the main thing here, Sammy is cleared. He's going to be back in the fight, and we'll have to see what happens next from here. And that's pretty much all you got to know. All right, now we would jump into the last time is now tournament for tonight, and it would be LA Knight versus a mystery opponent, and that mystery opponent would be Zack Ryder. Woo, man. Awesome to have Zack Ryder. That was freaking awesome to see him tonight. Also known as Matt Cardona, obviously, but Zack Ryder in WWE, of course. But yeah, so we would have LA Knight versus Zack Ryder. And I mean, I thought that this might have been a bit of a better match. Now, I will say it did pick up at the end there. I think the ending was pretty freaking sweet. I was just expecting just a bit more from like start to finish. Like I said, ending I actually liked. I just think more of the beginning, I don't know. I just felt like we could have got a bit more. But hey, that might just be me. But I mean, it's still cool to have Zack Ryder versus LA Knight. I'm not even saying their match is bad because honestly, I do think it was overall still pretty decent to solid. But I just think maybe we could have got a little bit more out of these two. But either way, man, solid match in my opinion. And like I said, cool to have Zack Ryder. And anyways, we did obviously have in the end, our winner would be LA Knight. I kind of thought that Zack might have won. That was like maybe was going to win this one, but he obviously has to get back to doing whatever he's doing. Obviously, he's just here to kind of just draw attention towards the last time is now tournament and everything else. But yeah, LA Knight is going to pick up the win here, so hey, that's cool and cool to have Zack Ryder for this match. And like I said, it was overall a pretty decent or to solid match. All right, now we would jump into Jade Cargill versus B-Fab. We're not going to talk too much here. You can already expect where this match is kind of going. It's pretty much a squash. I mean, really, B-Fab really didn't do much here, so pretty much a squash match, man. Jade Cargill wins. Michin comes out, tries to, or just kind of checking on B-Fab. Jade Cargill kind of just pushes Michin, walks out. That's really it. We're not going to talk much more. Jade Cargill wins. That's really it. That's all you got to know, man. All right, now we have made it to our main event of the night, which took place between Cody Rhodes defending his undisputed title against Bronson Reed. And as you can expect, we're getting a good match, but it would not end in a clean fight. It would end in a disqualification when Braun Breaker would come out. That would obviously then would lead to Jey Uso and Jimmy Uso coming out, which would then lead to even Drew McIntyre coming out. And it was just absolute chaos, man. Obviously we're building more towards War Games, and it's not confirmed yet, but I'm assuming obviously we are going to get Drew McIntyre in the in this War Games, but it's not currently confirmed. I mean, he did sign a little like a little bit of a contract that Paul Heyman had, so maybe it is official. But I mean, obviously, we already know that's what we're going to get, so just keep that in mind, anyways. But yeah, just overall chaos. The entire obviously brawl after the match and after the interference had happened. It was a big back and forth, chaos filled brawl, man. But it was overall pretty cool. I like the chaos. It's just building towards War Games, which is obviously going to be an epic match when we get there. That is going to be without a doubt a great War Games match between all these men. But yeah, all you got to know here, it was a DQ, so nobody wins, and Cody Rhodes is still our champ, and we are building more towards War Games. And obviously, man, that match is obviously going to be absolutely insane. Alright, well, that is going to be it for this week's SmackDown recap. As always, I do hope you guys did enjoy. And just this episode of SmackDown, man, I think it was decent. I really don't think anything was. I really think there was more like kind of like things that were like than there was like better things. So I'm just gonna give it kind of like a decent. It wasn't super special overall. Yes, there was some good things, but in overall, it was not that special in my opinion. But yeah, pretty decent SmackDown. But as always, be sure to leave me your thoughts down in the comments below. As always, before we get out of here, like the video, subscribe to the channel, turn on post notifications, you never miss an upload. Go follow the socials, links to those in the description of this video. That includes my Instagram account, my X account. Do with it. That's been a ton, and I will catch y'all boys in the next one. Peace.